I like this picture now on the Telegraph Sport. Pull out Magic Mead is the headline. Lionesses make a winning start. A big roar there from Mead.
Yeah.
Full of passion after England won yesterday.
Super goal.
Super goal. Took it very well.
Chested it down, wasn't it, from Fran Kirby, and then to be able to lob the keeper as she did, it was brilliant. And what I love about that goal as well is, it looks like it's going in. The defender clears it, what you think might be off the line, but eventually goal line technology gave it, and England took that lead. But you see Ellen White, who was sort of running in on goal, obviously hoping that she might, if it rebounds off for in any reason, she might be able to slot it home. But she is celebrating as well. So she knew it had gone past the line and it was goal. But yeah, that really sums it up, her celebration.
I like the headline in The Sun, millimeters.
Millimeters.
Instead of millimeters over the line, it's millimeters.
I see.
Over
Sorry,
the line.
gosh, you had to clarify that one for me. It did really
too early in the morning for that.
Far too early.
On the Lionesses, though, I remember reading a piece by Emma Hayes, the Chelsea manager, on Saturday morning, and she said, the team, the ability, have everything to go on and win it. But the one problem for them might be playing on home soil in front of big crowds every single game, something that not all of them are used to doing on a regular basis. The pressure is the one area of potential concern, the pressure with all eyes on them. How do you feel as if they dealt with the occasion last night?
Well, I think if you saw that first 10 minutes, it was a bit cagey, looked nervy. I think Austria were probably the better of the two teams in that first 10 minutes, but obviously didn't take long for them to score 16 minutes into the game. You know what? I sometimes think you've got to have those cagey, nervy performances, and if you get them done early on, it means you grow, don't you, as a team in a tournament. And probably that's what Serena Wiegman will be thinking. Maybe that's our dodgiest performance in terms of nerves. We've got that out of the way. We've done it in front of a record crowd now. Now it's just about going out and performing to our ability, which they didn't necessarily do last night. They weren't at their best, but they still won, which is all that matters ultimately. They got the job done, 3 points on the board, and so far so good then for the Lionesses.
Let's talk a bit about Raheem Sterling, shall we? He is across pretty much all of today's newspapers. Telegraph Sport headlines: Sterling agrees terms to become first Chelsea arrival of the Bowley era. James Ducker says the move is going to be completed over the next 24 hours in time for Sterling to join up with Thomas Tuchel's squad for the start of their pre-season tour. It's going to be £45 million rising up to £55 million for the 27-year-old who's in the final year of his contract at the Etihad Stadium. Do you reckon that a good move for all parties? Feels to me as if it could be. I think a move away is good for Sterling because certainly in the last 18 months it felt as if in Pep Guardiola's strongest Man City 11, I don't think Sterling featured in that. It feels as if he's probably going to become one of Chelsea's most important players. And from a Man City point of view, we know Haaland's come in, and again, they're getting, around £55 million for a player who's in the final year of his contract.
I was going to say, that's the key thing, isn't it? To get that much money for a player who's only got 1 year left. I think it is good business all round. I think when you're at a Manchester City side that you never know if you're going to be a starter, there's only a couple of players really that are guaranteed to start in a Pep Guardiola side. You feel as though he's going to go to Chelsea and he probably is going to be one of those first 11 picks every single match because he is so threatening when he's on form. I'm intrigued to see how Thomas Tuchel will adapt with him in this side, because I always think Timo Werner, as much as he doesn't get the goals and his stats aren't great for that reason, he does work tirelessly and he loves to get in behind, and that's obviously what Raheem Sterling will love to do as well for Chelsea. So I'm intrigued to see how he's going to work with both of those players, as well as obviously who else is going to come in to fill the hole of Romelu Lukaku. Obviously Kai Havertz has been doing that a lot last season anyway when he was preferred over the Belgian. So yeah, I think it is good business all round. I should point out we've got some gremlins in the system. That's why we're not chatting to Ali right now. He's trying to fix it. I can see he's got his screwdriver out and all sorts. So it's all right. He'll come and join us shortly, I'm sure, hopefully.
He'll be with us soon. I'm sure he will absolutely. What else have we got on the back of the Mirror? It's all gone De Jong. Jeremy Cross writes this morning that Erik ten Hag is seething after Barcelona pulled the plug on Man City's deal to sign Frankie De Jong. United bosses have spent 6 weeks in talks with Barca about buying the Holland star in a deal worth £70 million. But the paper's saying that as things stand, that's the deal that's not going to happen. I think he's the sort of player in that United are desperate for, isn't it? Someone creative in that midfield who can pull the strings, especially now that Paul Pogba...
How many midfielders do they want?
No, sorry. Well,
They've got Erik Eriksen now? Come on.
Yeah, no, but he'll play a little bit deeper, I think, than. Oh, God, there you go. You mentioned Christian Eriksen.
I had to bring it up, didn't I?
It's taken, 26 minutes for you to mention Christian Eriksen.
Are
you hurt?
Are
you disappointed? Are you let down by Eriksen?
I'm very let down by Eriksen, yeah. But, ultimately, I say that. And I spoke about it a long time ago when we were talking about loyalty in football. There was no such thing as loyalty in football. There's no such thing as they owe you something, you owe them something. That football doesn't really work like that. But, of course, there was a part of me that hoped he would think, do you know what? They've given me an opportunity. It would be nice to just stick around for a bit longer. But, unfortunately, that's not happened. He's decided that Manchester United is his destination. We're obviously still waiting for that to go through. It's not been confirmed. What I find bizarre about this whole, it's the Barcelona financial situation. It's just a mess, and that's why it's been held up, because they haven't paid his £13 million whatever it is wages, and he wants his money. Fair dues. Of course he's going to want his money. It's just a bit of a mess, isn't it, when it comes to Barcelona right now and trying to do any transfers with them.
I'm really upset. I really wanted Eriksen to stay at Brentford, going back to Eriksen, because I think it'd been a great story. Obviously, him coming back, loved by the fans. He had a massive impact, didn't he? One of the main men. I think it'd been wonderful if he stayed at Brentford. It's
just one of those, and there'll be people probably listening in right now saying, "Oh, it's sour grapes," but you can't help but think that. It's like, well, he's gone for the money, hasn't he? He's gone more for the money. Maybe the European football as well. Of course, maybe the European football as well. But there was just a part of me that thought if he re-signed for Brentford, that would have been a bigger story than when we signed him initially. But the writing was on the wall when he signed that initial deal back in, January, February time. He didn't want to sign an option. So maybe we should have all predicted that was going to happen. It was
going to come, yeah.
But we still thought maybe he'll just go, I love it here.
And
just for the love of football, I'll stay. But it hasn't quite worked out that way. Never mind.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.